This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
You know, we've all heard those stories about a new apartment feeling a little off, but this is not just a story about some strange noises in the night. This is about a man's first few days in a new building, a place that was meant to be a fresh start, but, well, it very quickly turns into an absolute living nightmare.
So his whole plan is super simple. Be a good neighbor, keep to himself, and just avoid any drama. He's really just looking for a bit of peace and quiet. But the building? Yeah, it seems to have some very different plans for him.
And just like that, his hopes for a quiet new life are pretty much shattered. It all kicks off with a single, late-night phone call. I want you to picture this. It's the middle of the night. Your phone rings, and there's an angry woman on the other end, just screaming at you to turn your music down. She says she's your neighbor. But here's the crazy part. He wasn't playing any music. The apartment was dead silent. So where on earth was the music coming from?
He's completely baffled, and honestly, she was incredibly rude. But his first instinct? It's just to de-escalate. He's the new guy. So he just agrees, hangs up the phone, and tries to put it out of his mind. Anything to avoid a conflict. The next day, he decides he's got to clear the air, right? He's hoping for just a simple, easy resolution. But what he finds instead is the first piece of a truly terrifying puzzle. So he does what pretty much any of us would do. He goes and finds the building's guard. He explains what happened, just hoping the guard can maybe have a quiet word with the woman next door. A simple, logical step, right?
And this is where the floor just drops out from under him. The guard looks him dead in the eye and delivers this absolute bombshell. The apartment next to him isn't just empty. It's been sealed shut for a decade, and the last owner found murdered inside. So who in the world was on the phone?
He is just completely stunned. His mind is racing, trying to process this impossible news. But just as he's grappling with the idea of a ghost for a neighbor, the story is about to get so much weirder.
He's on edge all day at work. He knows, deep down, he has to get out of this place. On his way back up to his apartment, though, he runs into someone on the stairs. This is it. This is his chance. A chance to confirm that he's not actually losing his mind. Okay, look at this. This is his reality just shattering in real time. He asks this new person about the murder, and he explains, hey, the guard told me about it. And their response? Oh, they confirmed the murder happened all right. But then they give him this confused look and say, what guard? This building doesn't have a guard.
And that's it. That is the breaking point. He is done trying to make sense of any of this. He sprints into his apartment, starts throwing his stuff into bags, and frantically calls the one person who should have some real answers, the landlord.
He's practically screaming into the phone at this point, just laying out all the horrors he's experienced in only a few days. A murdered woman's ghost, the spirit of a building guard who doesn't even exist. He is just desperate for any kind of explanation. But the landlord's reaction is the last thing he expects. Instead of being alarmed or concerned, he just laughs. He dismisses everything as lies, which, you can imagine, only makes our guy feel even more trapped and absolutely terrified.
When the landlord asks who's been feeding him all these crazy stories, his answer is the only logical one he has left. The neighbors, he says. The woman on the phone, the man who called himself a guard, the person on the stairs, it has to be the neighbors. And now we get to the final reveal. The landlord has one last piece of information, the one that changes absolutely everything and turns this bizarre story into pure, undiluted terror. The landlord's voice is chillingly calm when he delivers the final, soul-crushing blow. The building has no other residents besides you. He is completely, utterly alone in that building. Just let that sink in for a second. If he was the only living person in that entire building, who was the woman on the phone? Who was the man pretending to be a guard? Who was the person on the stairs? Who was he talking to?